Learn to create a Pinterest marketing e-commerce strategy that converts to sales, but doesn't force you to be on the platform constantly. Hey, I'm Michelle. I am a Pinterest manager and marketing strategist, and I am here to talk to you today all about how to create a e-commerce Pinterest marketing strategy that works for you and your business. So you have a product-based business, you want to get more sales from Pinterest, but maybe it's just you, or maybe you have a small team and you don't want to have to spend so much time on the platform that's all you're doing. You hear you have to have multiple pins, and it just feels like this big thing to start getting sales from Pinterest. Well, let's get into how to create an actionable strategy that's not super overwhelming, that will help you get your products on Pinterest where they need to be so that you can start getting some sales. Step number one, you have to have your Pinterest tag connected to your shop. So make sure you get that little bit of code in your header, footer, or if you have Shopify, you can use the app, and make sure that that tag is connected and working properly with your store so that you can actually get those products on Pinterest and they're going to pull that data from your store, keep everything in real time. It's a super important part about having that connected. Next, you're going to want to make sure that you do some keyword research and make sure that those search terms are in your product descriptions. So if you need to learn more about how to do keyword research, we're not going to get into that today on Pinterest specifically. I linked a video up here all about how to do that. It's very comprehensive and super helpful when it comes to keyword research. The next thing we need to do is make sure that your store has SEO friendly descriptions with those keywords in them in your shop. So this is off of Pinterest. You need to make sure those product descriptions don't start with like the colors, the sizes, things like that. It's very tempting to do that because you're like, well, I said what it was in the title. No, you need to convince people with their emotions to purchase the product and then give that additional information. So have those SEO friendly descriptions that make people really want to buy that product. Have those in there first because they're going to actually migrate over into your Pinterest pins. No matter what you put in as a description, that description will eventually overwrite and be on that pin. So you want to make sure that it is SEO friendly for Pinterest and Google, and it really speaks to the product and why people need your product. Next, you're going to want to have eye-catching visuals, mock-ups, whatever. If you can show people in action using your product, that's going to help click-through rate. It's going to help conversions. So make sure those product images are top-notch. You don't want to cut corners with your visuals when it comes to Pinterest. Pinterest, the first thing you see is the visuals, so make sure it's good. All right, so let's talk getting those product pins onto Pinterest. First thing, you can use the Pinterest extension to pin pins directly from your shop. You can also use Tailwind Scheduler to schedule those out. Now, caveat, when you're using that Pinterest extension in your shop, keep it to 2 to maybe 3 pins per day. Don't go crazy on that extension or your Pinterest account could get shut down for spam. So be careful when using it. It is okay to use in moderation. I don't want to scare you from using it, but I want to caution you, don't go crazy and pin your whole catalog in one day. You will get your Pinterest account deactivated. So let's make sure that you don't do that. So after you do that, then you're going to go ahead and also put in your pin plan, your catalog. So I would love to have you have a spreadsheet. I have a pin plan in my shop. I can link that down below, but where you actually schedule out your pins and create static pins, video pins, infographics, whatever makes sense for those, and actually schedule those out to get pinned through either a scheduler like Tailwind or Metricool or Planoly, or you can just schedule directly through Pinterest. They have a 30-day scheduler now, so you don't absolutely have to have a scheduler anymore. Definitely take advantage of that if you don't want to have another subscription expense in your business. You could absolutely use the Pinterest native scheduler, get those scheduled out. So that way you're only spending a couple of hours every month. If you're able to really get this down to a science, you're only going to spend a couple hours every month getting those products on Pinterest. So really a lot of bang for your buck. And then make sure you're tagging those products in your Pinterest pins. So go through, click the little tag the product pin, make sure you add that in. It's going to give you a shop the look, and it's going to help those pins get found in the shop, you know, when people are shopping. So make sure that you have that in there. Okay, the other thing that I wish more product sellers would do is utilize a blog. So remember that Pinterest traffic is cold traffic. So you're not talking to your warm audience. You need to warm them up. They need to get to know you. And a good way to do that is through blog articles, if you have YouTube videos, different ways to really start connecting with your audience so they feel better about buying your products. So utilizing blogs, ways to use your products, things like that are really going to help you connect with new people and bring them into your world. So don't discount the importance of a blog on your product-based business. Now, if you're looking for some help in creating a blog and you're like, I don't want to have to do that too, like I'm already busy enough, I do offer that as a service. So click down below, you can find out more about that. But that's not what this is all about. So just make sure you're utilizing those blogs or YouTube videos, things that you're already doing. If you don't have a blog for your product-based business, I highly recommend starting one. The next thing that I'd recommend is do some short videos, like a TikTok or a Reel situation where you're showing people how to use your product, talking about it, doing some behind the scenes, how it's used, how it was made. Things like that really do help connect to your audience and help them see that product in action. So don't discount the importance of using video in your Pinterest strategy. I love to see those product-based businesses really utilizing that medium. All right, next is definitely make sure you're utilizing schedulers, whether it's the Pinterest native scheduler, Tailwind, Metricool, Planoly, whoever you're going to use, Buffer. There's a million out there. Just leverage that, because I don't want you to be on Pinterest every single day pinning pins. Okay, so develop a plan, develop a strategy that works for you, whether that's 1 pin a day, 2 pins a day, 5 pins a day. Get those scheduled all at once, and then you can forget about Pinterest after that and you can focus on everything else. So that is one big tip that I think a lot of people really need to hear, is you do not have to be engaging on Pinterest. You don't have to be repinning other people's stuff all the time. You can pin your stuff and ghost the platform and be just fine. Then I want you to start tracking your results. Keep track of your analytics. After about 90 days, don't even look at it if you're a brand new account, but after about 90 days, start taking a look at your analytics, see how many outbound clicks you're getting, what's working, what's not, and double down on what works, okay? So if you start seeing that maybe video doesn't work for your brand, okay, so don't do as much video anymore. Do other types of pins. So really pay attention to what kind of pins are really working for you, driving traffic to your site, and use more of that. So that is my tip on really setting up your own Pinterest strategy. You really have to keep in mind what you're capable of doing. Keep a cadence that works for you. If you are somebody that does not have the capacity to pin 5 times a day, maybe you can do 1 time a day. Maybe you can do 3 times a week. Whatever it takes to get those products on Pinterest, do that. Slow and steady wins the race. We're not in a big race to do it, but just be consistent and get those product pins pinned to Pinterest so that you can start making some money, right? Because that's what we're here for. We're not in business for funsies. So let's start making some money from Pinterest. And again, if you need some additional help with the strategy or you just want to hand it off, I do have the option for services. I'll go ahead and make sure that's linked down below so that you can take advantage of that if that's something that you're interested in. Otherwise, just make sure you subscribe to this channel. You're going to be getting all the tips from me. I don't hold back. So make sure to subscribe, and I will see you back next week. Bye.